Hey there guys, I am, what I'm gonna do is, sorry, let me start from the beginning. First of all, sorry that I haven't been around. I took a vacation, and then when I got back from the vacation, I promptly got sick with appendicitis. As a result, I haven't had a chance to, uh, you know, make videos. So, one of the things that I noticed when I was gone and when I came back is that in my previous video on how to stream using OBS, there were a lot of questions, and I understand that, and the reason for that was because I was really streaming it to show it as a friend, and then I put it on YouTube, but this is going to be a more in-depth how to properly set up OBS. For those that are wondering, I'm actually recording this using XSplit, so bear with me if there's some behind the scenes switching back and forth that you may or may not know about. So, first of all, I'm going to take you from the beginning. Usually when you open up OBS, there's already a scene right here. It's not set up, but it's blank, so it doesn't have these three in it. For the purpose of this, we're going to assume that this is your blank, and we're going to start from here. So, firstly, let us do our settings. Okay, so for settings, English, if you want to set a profile, if you have multiple streamers on that one computer, then you can make your own profile, and it's really easy. You just type in a name, rename, it'll add it, that's fine. Encoding, video encoding. I leave this unchecked. Quality balance is 10. Make sure that you have the internet in order to do that. For max bitrate, I use 1500 because that's reasonable. I have a 5 megabit upload speed, so by doing this, it uses about half my upload speed, so about 2.5, and it leaves enough for my audio upload, my audio bitrate, which you can see here. We'll do that later, and as well as my any game that I'm playing that might use a network connection. So 1500, that's really good for my stream because I have a 720p stream. I don't use 1080. I could do 1080 probably, but 720 is fine. I haven't had any complaints yet. So there's that. Audio encoding is just AAC. Bitrate is 96. It doesn't really need to be any higher. Okay, so this is the tricky part. Mode, live stream, this is file output only. You can use this for personal recording, and you can hit a broad file path. I was wondering where this was, otherwise I wouldn't have been recording this using XSplit, but you know. Live stream. Streaming service is probably going to be either Twitch or Justin TV. If you have something else, like custom, you can put it in there. I don't know how to do the custom thing, so there's that. Choose whichever server is closest to you. Ideally, personally, I use Los Angeles. Sometimes the closest server may not be the best server, and there's a way that you can check. If you go to XSplit, there's actually a very, very useful thing, if I can find it. Under general settings, you'll see it, and you can go through there, go to server, you can individually test the servers, and that's free. So, path key and stream, I'm going to show you where this is. Your path key and stream will be located in your settings, actually. It'll be settings. You'll go to, where is it? Security? Is it security? It's not security. Video. So I'm sorry, I'm doing this all wrong. Dashboard. Streaming apps. Okay. So what you do is you go to your name, you go to dashboard, and then you click where it says streaming apps right here. This will open up a new tab or a new window. you will see broadcast while you play. You'll go over here, you'll click on the show key. I'm not going to show this while streaming for obvious reasons, because then people would be able to stream to my channel and they may stream inappropriate things and blah blah blah. Don't show it on video, kids. Pay attention to the warnings. Auto reconnect. This is useful if you're just setting out, or if for whatever reason you have a quaky connection. It'll reconnect to the stream, minimize network impact. I haven't played with this. I haven't yet found out what it does because I haven't needed it. It might be useful if for those of you with lower upload speeds. Let's see, save the file. If you want to save the file, you can record it and stream it and record it at the same time, which can be useful depending on what you're doing. There's a file path here. You can make whatever you want as your file path. And then these are your hotkeys, obviously. No video. Wait. Oh, yay. Video, you have your video adapter. If you have multiple video cards, you can do that. Base resolution, that is the size resolution that you want the entire thing to be at. Usually the best thing to do is your desktop resolution, and I will explain why later. You can downscale the resolution, so you can see right here my downscaled resolution is not the same as my base resolution, and that's because I personally want it to be 720. It doesn't really have to be 900p because that's a little ridiculous, but it also fixes several other things that I have to do. Filter bilinear, it's the fastest, 29 FPS. Some people swear at uploading at a higher FPS. Personally, I don't see why, because the Twitch player, the Justin TV player, and if you're exporting from Twitch to YouTube, the YouTube player, they all only play at 30 FPS. So there's not really any point to streaming or recording at a higher FPS. There's really no difference. At least from what I can tell. If someone wants to prove me wrong, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Audio. Audio is whatever your desktop audio device is. In my case, I'm using headphones. This is default. You can use push-to-talk. That's not suggested if you're like streaming, say, World of Warcraft, and you're in a Ventrilo or TeamSpeak where you need push-to-talk. Or if you do, change it to something that, a key that you wouldn't use normally for your stream if you feel like doing that. I don't know why. Mute, unmute, force microphone. Can use it to boost your microphone if you find yourself not being heard easily enough. Advanced, I use multi-threaded optimizations. I feel it works really well. It makes for a smoother stream. There's buffering time, which means you can give it a little bit of time before it goes out into your actual stream, and by this it comes out to about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I don't know. The rest of this, just copy it as is. CPU preset very fast. So gets out a little bit faster, and then just the rest is as that. And this is the noise gate, which you really don't need to worry about. So now that you have your settings all set up, let's set up your scene. Now then, your scene works based off of sources. Ideally, you will only use one scene. However, if you're streaming other things in which you need multiple monitors, or if you're streaming through multiple devices and they're all linked together, you might need this. So in this scene, there is an overlay, which is the image that you will often see in my videos. It is the Frostblade Ezreal overlay. I just picked that up by Googling League of Legends overlay. I found that one. I asked if I could use it, the maker of it, if I could use it. He said yeah. I took it and I put it in there. Your webcam, whatever your webcam is, and then your desktop and League. So let's go through these one by one, and we'll see each of the properties, and then I will show you how to make it. So this is an image. This is just device selection. And then this is desktop and league. So monitor 1, capture mouse cursor, capture layered windows. It says use window capture or game capture instead. The problem with that is that leagues is very finicky, has a tendency to be finicky, and yeah. So let's start with, in order, the image. So this is, say, Frost Blade, Frost as. So what we do is we'll do this, we'll go in here. I actually have several UIs, and this is Temporal Cortex if you want to Google him. He has Anivia, Ash, there's a basic one, there's Center, there's Champ. So if you want, and he has these broken up mini-map, you can go in, and sometimes you may want to add the images individually in their own separate source. That way you can fine tweak them, say your mini-map size is different than whatever. And that's a setting in League of Legends that I'll show you. So we'll do image, browse, and for the sake of this, let's do Anivia. So we'll do Anivia, it'll be there. You're not streaming right now, so you won't have to worry, you won't get to see what it is. Next, we want a global source for your webcam. You want webcam, and then go into properties. And this should be just as is. You want to disable audio device if your webcam has an audio device, and then what you will want to do is you'll want to add. I personally have this set up as a global source, but in the event of this, it would be monitor capture League of Legends, and I have to do this to separate from the other one. This capture mouse cursor where blah 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 blah. So now you have this. I'm going to remove this and replace it with my own global source. This one. Let's preview the stream. So we're previewing the stream. Everything looks good. But we have no image. Why is that? Well, the reason why, because we have to move the image onto here, and I think I messed up somehow. Probably because I'm attempting to stream two things at once. Go down there. Oh, derp. So here we see overlay, blah blah blah. And that's why it's all the way down here. So now then, here's the cool thing. What you can do, and I hope you guys can still see this, is there we go. Now we can change this back to Anivia. Now you're wondering, how do you click and move it? Well, you see, this is how you do that. Properties. No, that's not how you do that. Position and size, we're going to move to the... Whoops, no, we want to move to top. Position and size, what we're going to do is we're going to center it. Now then, what we want to do is we want to click on Edit Scene. And by clicking on Edit Scene, you can click on individually on the pieces. So that goes there. You can say we had our webcam, which isn't being used, which is being used right now by XSplit, so it's having a little conniption fit right now. You fit it to wherever you'd want it. Maybe you want to put it up here. That's cool. You can put it here if you want. And then the desktop, which would be this whole big thing, that would stay there. So now then you're like, oh, that's really cool. But now what? Well, now, and preferably you would do this on a second computer so you can actually see what the hell you're doing. Create game. Now what you do is...
To the fields of justice!
How about a magic trick?
And as soon as it launches, you go into League of Legends, the settings, specifically. And I'll wait for that to load. You want to adjust your UI in-game based off of what you see here so that it fits. You would be ideally you would be watching your stream on a separate computer or a separate device, and you would make the adjustments as needed and as appropriate. So, right now, understand also that I am previewing. I'm not actually streaming, so I won't be able to really tell what I'm doing until I get in. And this has to go up, actually. Yeah. So, here, webcam's usually on top. So you go here, and you should be able... You won't be able to see it right now, from my perspective, but interface. You can change your HUD scale, you can change your minimap scale, change all of that to make it fit as needed. In this case, it almost works actually. I think in scene 2 it's a little closer. Actually,
welcome to Summoner's Rift.
I have to adjust that. So now you're gonna see me adjust it. So I have to adjust my minimap HUD. See if that works. Nope, a little more. That's almost good. That's just about perfect, actually.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Right about there. And I know my mouse cursor right now is flickering, and that's because I'm using XSplit and to record this, and XSplit's a cheeky cunt. I'm sorry, language. There we go, perfect. So now you can see it's perfect here. Everything's flush. The interface, the HUD itself is as flush as it's really ever going to be.
Minions have spawned.
I can probably fix that a little bit. I don't know if I have to make it bigger or smaller. Oh. And there we go. Now that's perfect. So
now you see me. Now you don't.
You can move around. And it looks really good. It actually looks really nice. You can see it's a little bit off, but that's okay. It's okay to be off a little bit.
Just a little bit closer.
And then in game, you'll have your entire thing, and it'll look proper with the overlays and all of that. So, yeah, that's really all there is to it. I have been asked, how do you set up, it up so that, you know, it shows what music you're listening to and blah, blah, blah. That actually requires a second monitor. And in order to do that, you would make a fourth scene. Now then understand, I don't have a second monitor, I'm just showing you how you would do it. You would need your second monitor, and it would be monitor 2, in this case. And I don't want you, so we're going to remove you. And we're going to go to here and do it. It would be second monitor, monitor 2, whatever you want to name it. Probably Pandora or whatever music device you're listening to. Captured, blah, blah, blah. And you would take that, go to edit scene, and you'd move it around to where it's the box that you have your Pandora in. you'd shrink it. Actually, that's probably a terrible way to do it. You probably want to do windowed. So I take that back. You would probably want a window capture. And for the sake of this, let me bring up Pandora. If Pandora chooses to grace me with its presence today. There it is. So here's Pandora. We want OBS. Here's OBS. Add window capture. Pandora. And then you choose a subregion of Pandora. You would probably want the top or something. And then voila, you have Pandora. You have edit scene. You move that wherever you want. It doesn't work, unfortunately, on here because let me do that properly. Remove, yes. Window capture. It doesn't do it properly on here because, again, I don't have the second monitor in order to do it. Otherwise, you could just... It just doesn't look right. But if you had the second monitor, you could do it that way, or you could do it the window capture way. And yeah, that's... There we go, select subregion. It's like, oh, I have Pandora, except it doesn't really look right because Pandora's in the way. There we go. Actually, you might be able to do that properly. I don't know. Properties, select region. Oh, you really can drag it anywhere. As long as you're keeping Pandora still, I suppose. You can drop it in there. But then when you plop this up... And I realize that this is rambling on.
Dead man walking.
Yeah, there's your problem. So, really, you don't want monitor capture. You want window capture. So you do window capture as League of Legends is loading. Then you do Pandora. And League of Legends is going to be a douche. Subregion. Select the region. So I guess I'm learning something myself here, because I didn't realize that you could do it like this. And then, okay. Okay. Yeah, here's the problem I was referring to.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And you can't do a layered window or anything like that, because then, guess what? You can't see it, unfortunately. Opacity, turn it to 0. Maybe that might be a way. No, no way to do it. So you'd
30
really do
seconds
need
until minions
multiple
spawn.
monitors, unfortunately. So now you've seen it, you need multiple monitors in order to show that. Otherwise, it'll just look weird because it'll try to stream what it sees in front of it. Anyway, after that little piece of rambling is done, that is how you stream start to beginning, including Pandora's thing, which you do need a second monitor in order to do your in order to show your music player, whatever you want to do. I hope this was informative, minus the rambling that I had at the end. Thank you so much. If you have any more questions regarding this or my previous tutorial on how to do this, feel free to ask it in the comments or drop me a video response. I would say like, favorite, blah 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 if this helped you. Actually, if this did help you, toss me a like. I don't ask for that very often. So, if this helped you, toss me a like. But beyond that, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Laters!